That's your news update at this hour. We are glad you're watching the show that has got your morning covered, Morning Express. And it's Friday, and it's that time we have the Friday chat. We let loose, we get up close and personal. Today, you may not have seen them on TV, but they make a lot of those things you see on TV happen. Our producers here at KTN, we have Nereah Okanga and, of course, Otieno, both producers. Good morning.
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 Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's not good to see me.
It's quite an early morning. It's good to see you.
It's quite an early morning.
Night.
You had
Late night.
what, producing?
Producing? Changing and changing.
Okay. When we hear about producing, for many people, perhaps in the industry, will understand what that is. If you were to explain to somebody, when talking about producing, being a producer, what does that mean? What are we talking about?
Well, producing is, you know, it's basically taking over all the elements of a production from conception to broadcast. So there's a lot involved between conception to broadcast, and many people involved as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we see products such as even things like the Entrepreneur Governor or eCurve or many other shows, you know, we usually come together first. You have an idea, you come pitch it to your group, you tell them this is the idea I have. We usually set up meetings together, we discuss them, we finalize on the concept first. So once the concept is finalized, now you're ready to plan the rest. Okay. So from interviewing, researching, scripting, sometimes even taking part in the interview, you basically do everything behind the scenes. But you're not alone. You're always with a team. We have a huge team behind us as well.
All right. Yeah. How long have you been doing this for, Nick? How did you get into it as well?
Actually, when I was in high school, I had this passion and ambition for filming and directing and stuff. Yeah. Because of the plays that us guys used to have a lot in high school. So with all these plays, I just used to be mesmerized about what is happening around the stage and stuff. So with that, then I started picking up what is happening, learning how to direct, getting involved in production and stuff. After which, I think at the time, I joined KMC. This was in late '99. After that, I think I stayed at KMC for about 2 years and stuff.
I like how you're spinning. And then after that?
Yes, after KMC, then we went to, yes, I worked for Ginger Inc., Guy Wilson and Ginger for a while, for about 1 year. Okay. Then went back to school, joined Mohammed Amin for 1 year. And then immediately after school, college, after Mohammed Amin, KTN employed me. That was in late 2002, early 2003. Worked KTN for about 5 years.
What were you doing?
At KTN at the time, I was a news director, producer. That was mainly involved in news production, directing anchors, getting the running orders on time, basically just following up on news content and just making sure that the bulletin goes on air properly between prime time especially. Prime time especially,
yeah, because people will see the news bulletins, a show like this, you know, we do have producers as well and a whole team that is behind to make this happen. So for you, Nereah, was it something you always wanted to do, or did you bump into it at some point?
Actually, it's interesting. You know, when I was younger, I always said that I wanted to be in TV or I wanted to be a social worker. Those were my options. Yeah. So when I was in uni, even when I was doing my BA in electronic media, I still used to take like extra courses, like anything that would lead me even closer to community development. Those are my two passions, actually. So, in fact, media and community development, I think, can be very close. So, in fact, I want to use this tool to be able to also achieve my other dreams in that essence, because I care about people. I care about how we're. I care about the things that influence us. And being in this industry, I first have to understand this industry, and that's why even I'm behind the scenes as a producer. Because when you're behind the scenes, you get to understand everything. You get to understand how a product comes together. So that's what I love about being in this position. Because even sometimes other guys are like, oh my gosh, you know, either you have a nice voice or you could make it maybe on screen, you know, because sometimes you might look good, maybe just naturally, but you don't look good for TV. Sometimes people don't understand that. So it takes a lot also being in front of the TV, I'm sure. I mean, I wish even they would interview like anchors and ask you guys about your experience. People think it's so easy. It's just coming in front of the camera and talking. Like right now, my heart is just beating.
Like, oh
yeah,
my God.
that was surprised, Anna. Can you hear my heart on that side? It's very nerve-wracking. It's not
It's
easy.
not easy.
So, being behind the scenes is a bit easier. It's just, more work or whatever it is, but it's definitely way easier. This, I cannot do every day.
You cannot do every day.
No.
So you wouldn't consider getting into it, hosting a show, reading news?
I don't know about considering it, but right now I still have a lot to learn behind the scenes, so that's where my concentration is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, as you say, that's where everything happens. I think for me, this is now the presentation part.
Yeah.
So you're presenting what has been worked on and what has been prepared behind the scenes. Do you find in our industry, having been around for a while, Nick, that there's that seriousness even with our productions? Because there's still a lot of bashing that goes with the local content in terms of quality and all that and how it's done. What is lacking? Is it the capacity? Is it the professionalism? What is it?
What shocks me and what I've learned and seen over my years in this industry is that the cameras and all this equipment, that stuff is getting cheaper now. So guys have no reason whatsoever to have bad quality on air anymore.
Right.
Because you get all the cameras right now, you can get a cheaper camera which has the best quality and you can film good production and have good stuff. My only issue with this industry is that we don't really take our own products and embrace our own products and even just encourage our producers just to keep on filming, telling our own stories and getting it out there. We all just believe in all this Mzungu stuff, and I mean, it's becoming too much and it's just demoralizing.
Yeah. Well, what would shift that attention from all the Western content to perhaps taking in more of the locally produced?
I think what people are trying to do, because there's no denying, as in most of the Western products, I mean, they're attractors.
Yeah.
When we get home, many people, when you ask them, as in, do you sit home and watch local stations the whole day? They'll tell you they have probably appointment viewings. They'll say, maybe I watch this particular show or whatever show, but they might not sit down and watch our local stations the whole day. Why? That's a question. Now, you see, what I've noticed that the Western producers are doing, there's a lot of drama. Realities are such a hit right now. That's the thing that almost everyone is onto. Yeah. And speaking of realities, guys, you need to watch K10 Are You My Type coming this Saturday at 8 p.m. Okay. Yeah. Just so that I don't forget. So we get taken over with all that. And there's nothing wrong with imitating what's out there. We just have to make it suitable for our audience. Yeah. So if it's a good thing, I mean, copying something is not the worst thing. It's just make it your own, give it your own twist. Because if it was something that is loved, why not?
Why not?
Why not use it?
And I understand we have some of your content as well, some of the things you've worked on. When we are ready with that, director will let me know so we can play and you take us through just some of the work that goes into it, from the planning to execution, the amount of time also, with some of the programs we've even introduced. And you're talking about Are You My Type?
Yes.
I should come on that.
We're actually filming it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually filming Are You My Type today. Yes, so that's...
Where did this come from, the whole idea, Are You My Type?
Well, the concept, there were about 5 or 6 of us who sat on, clearly dating shows are a hit with our market. Yeah. So, what show can we come with that has an interesting twist and something that will engage the audiences even, and beat any other dating show that's out there. Right. So we sat down. It's been a long period from the concept. It took maybe even a month just to finalize on the concept. Even before we started recording, we're still finalizing on the concept. So we finalize on the concept, then of course you bring the whole team together, the production team. We talk about what the intention is, because at the end of the day, you want to get as much input as there is, and that's how we work in our team. Yes. Like when you have a concept, of course, first is a small group of people who, of course, finalize.
At the beginning, yeah.
And then now you come together, all of you, and ask, guys, this is a good idea or a bad one. So, I mean, if the majority think that it's a good idea, they can't all be wrong, because not everyone will like a product, but not everyone will hate it either. So the question is, will the majority like it? Okay. So if the answer is yes, then you go ahead and do it.
Then you go ahead and do it. Yeah. So Are You My Type, when we're talking about shooting such a, and getting word out, because these are participants who are not necessarily part of the crew. Yes. It's ordinary general public. So how do you get people to come and participate in such shows? Because I sometimes watch them and I'm like, so how was this person, convinced to come and Yeah, they're sometimes very dirty linen on TV. Nick?
You know, it shocks me that even what I've watched so far and actually directed, because I'm directing the production, it just amazes me, just your question, that guys can actually come and actually, you know,
but it's a good thing.
I mean, it's actually interesting for me. And actually watching the edit, because we all stayed as a team yesterday to just watch the entire production and just, and you know, I mean, Kenyans will be entertained with what they're about to see and watch, because it's a good show, it's a good production and stuff. Of course, it takes a lot of work. There are whatever producers involved, make a lot of phone calls. Of course, you have to look for the contestants, and you have to look. And the first major thing, of course, you have to get a host, which was actually more of a challenge, you know. But you have to get the best guys. Eventually, we did as a team, and it's a good production and stuff. So we're just hoping that, of course, and the contestants are amazing. It's just shocking how this dating thing is actually for real. Jesus.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking also hosting comes with being able to get the right, kind of people who have an understanding, can keep audiences interested. So from conception from the point you thought about this and bringing it out, it's coming up when?
On Saturday. On
Saturday.
8 p.m.
How long has that been? And how would you say the process has been?
It's not, what I love about the team that we have here, guys work really fast. I mean, the things that have been produced lately, there's been a lot of buzz in our programming schedule because so many things have just been coming out.
True.
We're just seeing so many shows being removed. YOLO, Mara KTN eCurve, KTN Entrepreneur. There's another one coming soon as well, which I wouldn't mention at the time, but it's also just coming right after this dating show. So, you know, we're not that many. Yeah, we're a few of us, but the speed that guys have, that's what makes most of these shows able to be produced in the speed that they are. Because guys work very fast, we're committed to our work, we're passionate about what we do.
Okay.
And so that's how we're able to remove this thing so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
Let's move away from production. We'll get back to that in a little while. But let's talk about you personally. Tell us a little about yourselves. Nick, wewe ni nani? Mimi ni mwanaume. Anza hapo.
Mimi ni mwanaume.
Talk to us about yourself.
Yes, me. I'm Nick. Nick is a family man, of course, and Nick is a producer. Nick has a passion for TV. Nick just sleeps, eats, drinks TV every day. And what else? Of course, I love
and
speed.
We have some pictures there. Take us through. What are we seeing now?
Yeah, that was during our commercial I was filming. That was, I think, shot in September.
Okay.
It was for bottled water, so we were filming it at Central Park. Yeah, the camera, by the way, is a red camera, just so you know.
What do you mean a red camera?
No, it's one of the best quality cameras around so far. Yeah. So it's a super camera. I mean, the quality is excellent. So so I had the privilege of being part of this production and actually getting to use that type of equipment.
So you're a family man?
So I'm a family man. Yeah. So
what does Nick do for fun?
Nick,
that one?
That is an event I attended. So that is what I do for fun. Yeah.
You attend events?
I attend events.
Okay.
Attend events. So
there's some little people.
So that is 2.5 men. That's
oh God.
Those are my peoples.
Your peepees.
Yeah, that is me and the man. Yeah, that was me and of course Raila. We had gone to his house for an interview.
Okay.
So we had gone to interview him with my former employer.
Yeah.
So that's me and my boy Shafstar. That's also an event that we attended.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that is how we hang out.
So for fun, you're out and about?
Yeah, so that's also an interview that we had. Julie was interviewing Bensouda, and of course I was producing one of her shows
and you had to
for a very long time.
You had to photobomb that picture.
Last but not least, that is Dolores, Michael Jordan's mom. She was here for, of course, her piece and campaigns and stuff.
Okay. Wow. What has been your most favorite production? The one after producing you were like, wow, awesome. To date you think about it and you're like, you know what? I did good with that one.
Actually, what I'm currently producing right now is Governor on KTN, which I think I strongly have a passion for. And it's in me right now because I'm trying to develop the show when it was handed over to me, I just took it up immediately. And my manager was, she's very encouraging, Catherine, and she's always, pushing me to just make the show.
Yeah.
And she's given me, just the free way just to do whatever I want to do with it. So, so we sit down, of course, with the script writers and stuff and try and develop the show and try and make it super. Of course, the cast is brilliant. The actors are very, very professional. I've never seen such an amazing team.
Yeah.
And of course, the crew that we work with. So right now I'm into Governor completely, wholly. Of course, my life.
But in the past, what is the one you remember? This you're doing now, so you still don't have the full experience. One that you've done in the past, and you're like, that was quite the production.
Okay,
as you think about it, let me go to Nereah. Nereah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow.
Or
what
a lot
about me? There's too much. I think, let me not... I think there are many faces of me, just like anyone else, because like when there's Nereah the friend, there's Nereah the daughter, Nereah the sister, Nereah the professional. All those different people sometimes expect you to. Sometimes have different values, sometimes different ways that you interact with people and things like that. Oh, that's my favorite cousin, that's Alice.
Oh,
she's not here. That's my best friend, actually. I'm my closest friend. I'm actually a social person, but I'm an introvert. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does in a way.
You're
socializing in a very introverted way.
But personally,
that's fun. That looks like fun. Where was that?
That was maybe 3 years ago. Okay. That's my brother and sister. Right. That was when I was a bit chubbier.
Yeah, and you'll take us through that because this picture is a little bit heavier than you are now. This is your brother, cute man.
Those are my uncles. My dad is on the left side.
Oh, family
those are my family, my best cousins, Alice again and Edith. Those are my closest girls. That's my family still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
sharing with us part of your life. That is really cool.
Yeah, those are my friends, some of my friends.
So take us through, we're seeing in the pictures we've seen, and we're seeing a couple of more. You're bigger. What happened?
Work. Passion for work.
Really? No, you might describe someone who might think they're going to come and work and then they'll look like a stick after they're done because the work will take all their weight away.
By the way, actually, one way to lose weight, I think I'm actually going to look into this. Walking. Working, honestly. And have you lost any weight since you started working?
No, I did not until I went to the gym to work out.
To work out?
Yes.
Yeah, but also now being in production, you do a lot. You're always running around, following up on so much,
Is it something though you wanted, or are you thinking, oh my gosh, I want to go back to where I was, or are you happy with your weight now?
No, definitely. This is where I should be. Okay. This is the beginning of my dream. As I said, I have 2 things that I want to accomplish while I'm on this earth. And this is just the tool that I need to also help me accomplish my goals. So media is something I'm very passionate about. It's something I want to understand. I want to understand the ins and outs of it. Of course, you can't be a master of everything.
True.
But at least you can try to at least understand as much as you can.
Is that a dog we just saw?
Yes. Did you pass my dog? Oh. But that's another thing. I love animals.
Dogs. Okay.
Love animals.
Okay,
yes.
That is super. Let's, you mentioned your many things to many people, a sister, daughter, wife, girlfriend, ready for looking somewhere. Perhaps you'll be one of the contenders in the show. Maybe.
Well, on my personal love life, I wouldn't say that there's someone right now, but there's someone I'm interested in. Let's just
I love the honesty.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, there's someone I'm interested in.
So does he know?
Yes, he does.
Does it, your boy here?
No.
I like that.
No. I'm not a big believer in work relationships. Yeah.
You've never been in such a situation?
Never. Actually, I've only ever had maybe one boyfriend in my entire life.
Wow.
And maybe that's puppy love. Otherwise, I don't know. These things don't bother me. Right now, my focus is just on work.
On work. Do you hope to get married
usually
one day?
Here at 6:30 a.m. Yeah.
6:30
a.m. I mean, when you come in and you think today I'm going to be the first one in that office,
you
find Nereah here at 6:30. Then you ask her, Nereah bana, tafuta mzee, you know.
Acha kupenda kazi sana. No, but is it something you hope to get married one day, kids?
Of course,
is it in the cards for you?
Definitely. I mean, I definitely hope to, of course, meet someone and settle down with, but I don't want to overthink it, because it's easy to say that, when chicks also start, when you're about to maybe even clock 30, because I'm still, younger than 30, you start thinking about your biological clock or whatever it is. I don't want to get caught up in all that.
I wish you the best with this person of interest. We could help you out, whoever you are out there. We're reading one of the stories we're analyzing today. It's covered, I think, in the Nairobian. It's about male divas. And I'm thinking, as you're doing all this production work, you come across various presenters, people you work with. What has been your experience, perhaps most interesting, that you'd remember and talk about with the people who feel they want the world bowing as they work, as they present, or as they do whatever it is? They're just difficult to work with. What is an interesting experience you'd take us through, Nick, in production? You were in news before, so you've been in news anchors as well, and actors.
Funny enough, during my years of news, because I joined directing news at 21, and I first walked into 2021, and then I first walked into KTN. This was at Nyayo House, and
oh gosh, that's Kitambo.
That's Kitambo, yeah. And you have Fayaz, you have Kathleen Openda at the time, you have at the time Masio Buru, you have all these guys, and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to even start directing these guys? All these personalities and stuff, and having to actually tell them what to do. So it was a bit difficult. And then, they're looking at you as a young guy, as a young boy. I mean, but
was there any diva in any of them?
No, funny enough, anchors are really, really disciplined guys, and they know what they're doing and what they're meant to be doing.
You're being nice.
No, I mean, all the anchors, most of the anchors I've worked with. I've never had any issue with any anchor.
And actors?
Maybe because I was very, very harsh. Because I grew into being very, very harsh at the time. Because you have to also show them that, this is work. We've come here to Jobo.
So your style is, I've said it, do it.
Do it.
You're not negotiating. You're not having a conversation.
Nothing.
What's your style when you're producing?
I'm actually quite liberal but strict. The freedom to choose whatever it is you want to do. As in, I'm those ones, when we sit down, first I want to know what's in your mind. What would you like to see? And then, of course, it has to be, of course, in line with the whole concept. So if it's in line with it, I mean, that's good. If it's not, I bring you down, I bring you home.
Yes.
But we always, I'm very conversational with even the hosts I work with, whoever I work with. It's the beginning. How you start working with someone will determine how your relationship will be throughout. Okay. So it's how you start. You have to start strong and you have to start well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any diva moments?
You see, that's the thing. If you start well, you've already told them. Because me, I'm very real. With the guys I work with, if there's any host, if they ever come here, I tell them, I'm like, listen, me, I'm real with you. I don't take this. We don't do that. This is what's expected of you. And of course, usually have a very stern face sometimes, as I'm told, and a loud voice.
Yes.
So maybe that is enough to just make them relax. And plus, it's just the way you talk to people.
Okay.
You treat people with respect.
They will.
And they'll do the same for you. Yeah.
A lot of people, I know, even my friends, my family, people who watch KTN, have been seeing a lot of the coming soon. We've touched a little bit on that. But with all the production we're seeing, of course, locally produced, and you guys are part of the teams that are producing this content, what would you say is informing that, freshness in our programming, and also what should our audiences expect as we move away from that?
Well, definitely, I have to say, first of all, like, we have the best boss, Catherine.
Maybe she's watching. Huh?
Oh my gosh! As in,
she's watching. Raise the
account. Honestly, yes, by the way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, honestly, when you're given the freedom to be creative, and you're held accountable for the things that you're doing, but still given freedom to do it.
Right.
It's the best thing that any producer could have. When you restrict a producer and tell them, give them directions, it's like it's an anarchy or something. That's not right. So the kind of space that we have a lot of room. As I said earlier, we have a lot of room.
So that is what is informing all this.
Exactly. So people are, we're removing all these ideas because she's willing to listen to them. She gives us that time. Her office is, you hear sometimes bosses say, my office is open.
Yeah.
No, that's not always the case. With her, it's true.
It's open.
As in, it doesn't matter who it is. Whatever it is, she's always going to listen to it because she's always waiting to hear she's always looking out to hear for creative ideas, and it can come out of anyone.
And one of the shows that actually has really become a hit is Rasha Rasha. Initially, when I, people were talking, okay, this will be interesting. Saturday night, people would perhaps be watching movies. But I've been in places where quite a number of people are watching in the evening. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah. Actually, Rasha Rasha has become quite popular, and of course, it's because the type of music, the genre of music, of course, I mean, it takes you back and then it brings you forward. I mean, it's
and no one else is providing that
kind of music right now. So I think it's easy. Even the time it comes, I think it's a time when guys are relaxing, guys are chilling, guys are not trying to really stress at the time. So Rasha Rasha, I think it was a good thought.
Yeah.
You know, and of course it's a good production. The host and the...
A lot of energy on that set.
Yeah. Because, I always also say if you get the right host, that's why getting the right host is very important. Very important. You see, even like you, the face of Morning Express, you're the host of Morning Express. The way you carry the show, everyone identifies the show with you. They don't know about the rest of us who are behind the scenes. So everything is basically on your back.
Some chai.
Chai.
You have some tea here with the KTN mugs. But also, before we move away from the whole production and serious stuff, today is a big day, digital migration. We'll have some ruling coming through, the way forward. Of course, by next day, it must happen for everyone. But this in itself opens the space in the industry. There's so much space, there's so much room to do so much more. What do you see changing for producers like yourselves going forward? What must also, do they need to up their game in terms of what they'll be putting out? What must happen, Nick? What do you see this meaning for the industry, your profession?
Yeah, what I feel is that right now, producers have no excuse of not whatever, churning out productions. And producing and having more local content on here, because like I said earlier, this equipment stuff is getting cheaper, and and the quality is improving every day.
Right.
We just need to get scriptwriters out there to keep on writing, because again, one thing that is lacking in this country is a school for whatever script writing, because we have everyone buying cameras, everyone buying equipment, but there's no one to tell the story, and there's no one to write the story so that you can actually produce the story. So that is one thing that I feel that needs to be encouraged in whatever production, that we get more scripts out there. We tell the story, we tell the Kenyan story, and we just keep on producing. Because with the digital migration, I feel that it's going to open up the doors for guys like me who actually produce stuff, and guys with a passion, and guys who just wake up in the morning. It's going to open doors,
What about you?
And stuff. And
guys who are broke.
As in this industry can make
employment, true.
That's true.
Yeah,
it means a lot of competition out there. A lot of competition and opportunities at the same time. I was in Daystar, actually worked together. And you remember, like, communication had the most number of students. So you can, because I've always wondered, where did all those people go? When I look at stations, I'm like, I'm not seeing familiar names. So I'm wondering, are people getting jobs? What's happening with my, ex students, my classmates and things like that? So going digital, I mean, I still think we still need some time for people to adjust to that. But of course, for us, it means that there's a lot of competition, the ones who already have jobs, and a lot of opportunities for those who don't. So those who don't must step up their games, because they're going to be absorbed. Many people will be looked for. But for me, my mission is to become a very strong producer, so that you want to be looked for by almost everyone.
Nereah.
Yes, Nereah. That's who they want. Yes.
And somebody's acknowledging your passion here. I love Nereah's passionate attitude. George Kisundu is saying that caught my eye. But also tell us about your program, Entrepreneur.
Yes, actually, Entrepreneur, when I came to do Entrepreneur, I never thought I'll be able to do a show like that, honestly. As producers also, you'll hear many people saying, me, I can only do this type of show, I can only do that to other, and there are people who are like that. But for me, I like the challenge. I want to try and see, can I be able to produce different types of shows? Because I've done lifestyle, I've done an entertainment show, and now I'm on business, something that's completely out of my comfort zone. But I was like, I'll be interested to see how I'd do it. Would I do it any different? Because there's so many business shows, and already here, we've had quite a number from Enterprise Kenya, Business Focus, Business Weekly, and in the news desk, we have business features as well and business shows. So I'm like, I mean, how will I be seen from all this saturation? How will I step up from the rest?
Wow.
So now we're only going to our 3rd episode on Monday at 10 p.m. But yeah, but you know, we're just trying to think how can we do it a bit different.
Yeah.
One thing that I realize is that for me, like in business shows, I'll never hear the story in detail. Like when someone tells you, give me advice, how should I, what can you advise entrepreneurs, because the show is KTN Entrepreneur, and people will say, oh, you know, work hard, stay committed, be consistent, the same usual song.
Yeah.
So what I challenge my guests is, I want those details. Maybe it's just me being a female, I don't know, but I'm very detail-oriented. I'm like, I want those details. That's what I want. So that's what I feel my show will at least separate from the others, because the others are just, you know, the usual general.
Yeah.
Very face value, but I want someone, after they've watched it, they're saying, you know what, I know exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow. I know who I can go borrow money from. I know which book I can get this from. So that's my mission.
Okay, and like the attitude and the approach, because as you said, the new challenge aspect of it, many people will say, okay, this is what I focused on in school. You know, that's what I want to stay on, don't want a new challenge. Have you had moments where you had to challenge yourself as well, Nick? And as you tell us that before, by the way, we're going to be having some tongue twisters. I thank you all that have tweeted me tongue twisters, which we're all going to take as we wind up the show.
SH.
Oh, they have quite a number of the SH. I'm saying the seashells. It will be interesting. But yeah, have you had to go out of your comfort zone with your work?
Of course, in many other productions, like there was one I was working on recently, and yeah, being the executive producer or being the one to fund the production, you know, it's actually very challenging, because then again you have to think about the entire cost, which is actually heavy, you know. So that also was probably kind of like a challenge-ish to me, because now you have to look for the funds, and then again it's something that you're passionate about, and it's something that it's a story that you want told. So, and you're not even sure that if whatever that you're producing is going to even get bought, sold, recognized and stuff. So it's just something that, you know, you just hope, of course pray, and eventually just wait and see where that will go. Yeah, so that's how the industry is. That's how the industry is.
Finally, before our tongue twisters make their... I like how you're all getting worried. We shall shrub on set. Tutasema mambo yote. News, you know, when it comes to news directing, people see these amazing presenters, Katie and Prime, Ben Ketele, Nancy Kachungira. The bulletin has begun, lights on, you're getting the news. And you know, it's seamless, they're getting story after story. What's happening? What are they not seeing? How is directing about?
The process of news production actually starts quite very early. I mean, it starts by 9 a.m. I mean, guys have to meet. I mean, the entire team, that is the team of reporters, the news editors, the news managers, the news directors, and probably even the cameramen and the video editors have to meet and just understand what stories will be carried on that day. So there's something called list of stories that of course the news editors and the news managers have to come up with first. That's by 8, 9 in the morning. So you all have to be in that meeting so that you can all understand what the stories will be. For example, now the digital migration today. Okay, for example, that one they probably picked it up yesterday, and it's probably a story that will develop today. So you have to have like 4 or 5 stories that will be told just about digital migration today. You see, and so that then, as the news director, producer of the day, you have to understand what digital migration is all about, why guys are in court, what's the hustle about and stuff. After that, then you probably, the reporters are released, everyone goes to do whatever they're supposed to be doing. Then again, you meet again for the 1 o'clock bulletin, which is probably like a lighter version of what will come during prime time. Then again, that's a process that you have to be involved in, because reporters usually come into the studio, into the offices by about midday, and this is a bulletin that is going at 1 o'clock. So as the news director of the day, you really have to push reporters, push the news editor at the desk. But
the news director is the boss when it comes. When that clock is going at 9 p.m., whatever time, they're the boss. They're the ones running this thing. They need to know what's happening and with it at each particular...
Of course, because the news director works very, very closely with the news editor or the news editor at the desk at the time. Because you have to know what they're thinking and how now they want that to be executed. So the news director has to come up with a whole production look, how they want it done. Probably graphics, of course, talk with the graphics team. That probably they want this graphic board. Of course, talk with the graphics team. So the news producer director is just to make sure that the entire production process of the news is up to par with the news editor. I mean, it's actually a long process.
It's long, and of course, then
you have to brief the anchors.
Come through this little gadget
there
on my earpiece. So from the director, who we have one right now, so we always have this to communicate.
Joanne and I
get distracted.
Joanne is your director, eh?
Yes, Joanne is the director.
Joanne is actually the first person who actually trained me how to do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. So Joanne is actually not to be qua KMC, not Joanne, but of course she was older.
Yes.
And then when I joined KTN, Joanne actually shadowed me to direct my first bulletin, which was the 4 o'clock news.
Nice.
So the 4 o'clock news, I think at the time was in Swahili,
so
English. It was in Michael Otieno at the time.
Veteran indeed.
Yeah, she is a veteran. Joanne is super.
So she's indeed. Because you're asking how you multitask.
Yes.
Also,
that's another reason why I can't be.
It's also on the director's part. They know not like now I'm talking. She will not talk to me when I'm talking. Rarely, unless it's like something wrong I'm doing. Because if I'm talking, it's very hard to still, human nature. Yeah. I mean, talk and listen. But you still have to, in a way, master how to do clever poses.
Yeah. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever been caught off guard?
Of course.
Live. What did you do? What was that scenario?
When I was in a different station, I remember once after at the end of the bulletin, we finished, and I wound up, you finish and you give a few seconds for the, to roll and to get offset. And so I didn't have a monitor, because usually what we have, like now, there are 2 other TV sets, so I can see us, I can see what's happening. So there was no monitor, so I couldn't see what else was happening. The show is ended, and I started singing, "Who's the chicken now?" And that went on air, and I sang for quite a while. I don't know why I was not gotten on. So yes, I remember it was a business stories I was doing at that time, and the business editor was furious. From serious stuff to "Who's the chicken now?"
I can imagine, but even anchors sometimes, you guys are amazing. There's one anchor who popped into the studio at 9 o'clock. That time, whatever clock is actually about to end.
Oh, yeah, because they meant to come early instead.
Neza ingia. I'm like, I'll check in the time.
I want to give you this to do some of these tongue twisters. We have quite a number. I've retweeted them so that it makes it easier. So I'm going to pass this iPad. One of them is, Rise watched Ross switch his Irish wristwatch for a Swiss wristwatch. Just read any of them. Don't look for the easiest. Just grab any and read it. Very quickly. They're meant to be fast.
The great growers grow great grapes.
What are you saying? Wait to hear what you're saying.
Have I told you I was not born in this country?
Okay, say another one. Another tongue twister.
Near and ear, nearer ear, ear.
Oh, you're fake. We're not hearing what you're saying. Okay.
Okay, I'm definitely avoiding that SH.
Yes.
All right, let's try. Rise watched Ross switch his Irish wristwatch for Swiss wristwatch.
Another one. Keep going. Okay.
On a lazy laser eraser.
And the layers,
you have to catch me.
I need to catch you.
The Greek grape growers grow great Greek grapes.
Hey, get an SH. Get an SH. Seashells.
Oh no. Okay. Sheila sells seashells by the seashore. Wow. Oh my gosh. I actually didn't.
No, do the other one. She sells seashells at the seashore. So do that one.
You guys want to capture me at the end. Why can't I just do it visually?
She sells.
She sells
quickly
seashells.
Samaraka. She sells seashells at the seashore. Do it.
Me?
Yes, as well.
See me, I'm already finished.
She sells seashells at the seashore, but that becomes good, eh?
She sells seashells.
He has the same complex as me. I understand my brother here. I understand.
You have to do it, Nereah.
She sells seashells at the seashore.
3 times
no,
very
it's because she's thought about it.
Yeah, she's thinking. So back to back real fast.
She needs to be thrown for one.
She sells seashells at the seashore. She sells seashells at the seashore. She sells seashells at the seashore.
She sells seashells at the seashore.
She sells seashells at the seashore.
She sells seashells at the seashore.
She sells seashells at the seashore. You're not going to catch me.
I'm going to catch. Let me get you one more funny one as we wind up. Our time is up. Let's see. There's one that I'd seen. Six, sick, hicks, nick, sick, slick, bricks, and picks and sticks. What is that? Six, sick, hicks, nick, six, slick, bricks, and hicks, and ticks. Oh my gosh. Okay, there are too many. Yeah, you'll be at sticks. But thank you. And there's one last one. Sixth, sick, shake, sixth, ship, sick. No, you do that one as you end up the hope.
I can see, Sophia. I can see. I can see where you are. I
need
never showed my back.
Did you see it?
Which one is it? Is it this
down,
one? Well then.
That's a shake and a sheep and sick.
Oh, this one here.
Yes.
Wow.
Quickly.
Thanks a lot, Hope. Okay. Six sick, chic, six sheep sick.
Huh?
Six sick, chic, six sheep sick.
I think you're thinking too much.
She's thinking too much.
I'm an overthinker.
Thank you guys. That was awesome to have you. And a lot of people appreciating the passion that you are exuding with what you do. Somebody talking about his daughter. That was who? Olungo says, my daughter is the next Nereah.
Oh.
Isn't that a sweet thing? I love this
you.
lady's passion and energy. So thank you both. Nick, my son, perhaps will be the next Nick. Thank you for watching the show.
Thank you for having us.
It was great hosting you guys. And all the best with all the programming. We look forward to watching. I saw the Kawangware...
Real Housewives of Kawangware.
Yes. And lots of other shows that we've seen will be coming up. So Kennedy Mosyuko says, I'm encouraged by this production, guys. I have done TV production, and I believe one day I will get where they are.
Definitely.
So awesome. Feedback there. My daughter, there's that one. John Maigwa says, great show and looking fabulous. Okay, people. David Orogi says, I want to be like those guys. What course do I take? So what do they study? I mean, they if you're going to do a Bachelor of Arts, you can always go also to a college also to just do some media studies. But I did electronic media. Yes. Yeah. And under electronic media, there's several courses and in this on production. But also in several colleges, you will find production courses. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yes, and I mean, with what we do, it's more practical. So just try and enroll in a more practical college.
Exactly, that has facilities.
That's true.
Yeah, has facilities.
And by the way, another interesting thing, just before we go, you know, sometimes what you learn in school is not necessarily what you find ahead. So you just have to keep your game mind on. Always. Don't wait for people to get your life going. The quote that motivates me every day is by Mark Twain. He said that the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. So if you haven't yet found out why, then that's what you need to be doing now. Why are you here? You know? And as much as also we can be so many people doing the same thing, there's a way you can do something so good that never get demotivated. Never
can do it quite the way you
we
can.
We can never think the same way. Never.
Exactly. So it's always good to be on team excellence. Be the best you can be. All right, director says we are out of time. Thank you everybody who watched the show for tweeting in. The tongue twisters were amazing. I've been retweeting them so everybody can have fun with them as well. Nereah, Nick, it was great hosting you, and all the best to the rest of you. We're gonna wind up with yo. See you. Enjoy your weekend. See you Monday.
See you.
And enjoy.